You could call it the recipe of the last 2 weeks of things we've done in practice helped with some carryover, but it's still playing 40 minutes of defense and getting stops when they count, especially late in the game. What I liked after watching the tape and all that stuff, we had a lot of possessions against a very efficient offensive team. We had a lot of defensive possessions. We put some stops in a row, and that really helps you against good teams like that with the guards they had. They have some very good players, but it was a part of the season. It was just another big step for us that we can guard it at a high level. And from the beginning of the year until now, how much our defense has improved has really helped us without a doubt.
You said after Saturday's game that you wanted the guys to make the next 7 days great. How does something like that manifest outside of the results of the next 2 games? How does something like that manifest itself?
Well, I think number one, with the coaching staff has to make sure the guys understand what I mean by that, and we wanted to assure our guys that the sky hasn't fallen, that we could have a lot of basketball left in front of us. Big week here, and then of course the conference tournament, and so what we need to do is what can we control? We can control our attitude every day and how hard we're going to work every day to have, and then carry it over to the games. And I think that was really important. We had a very good practice yesterday. Guys had great spirit in practice. We need to make sure that continues the rest of the week.
How much have you talked to Justin, Johnny, and Chris about senior night and getting through what will probably be an emotional night for them?
I just had a senior breakfast with them this morning, and just talk about don't allow the emotion of the day to own you. Allow the positive vibes of the day to have you excited to play basketball again at VCU. I think that's really important. The emotional part is when it's all over with. Now you have a job to do the job, and so make sure you're having fun with it, enjoy it. And there's a lot of people here that really appreciate you three guys, starting with me. And I want them to really feel that. But hey, you have a job to do first and foremost, and that's to help your team win.
Can you put yourself in their shoes as to the challenges, especially Johnny and Justin, of having 3 coaches in 4 years, something they clearly never signed up for when they first came?
But all that aside, the reason they're here and stayed here is because they love VCU and they love their teammates. And as much as you play for your coaches and you pick schools because you have great relationships with your coaches, the people you fall in love with first are usually your teammates. And they become your best friends and your brothers for the rest of your life, in each other's weddings, and become life friends. And so I think number one is it's about the guy next to you. When you're on a team and you go through so many crazy things like these guys have, that you're right, they didn't sign up for 3 coaches in 4 years. But I know what got them through all that was their teammates, and their teammates they had when they got here as freshmen, and of course now the teammates they have here as seniors. I think that's pretty special, and that's why you play for the guy next to you.
How much have you talked about the last game against Mason as far as trying to bring the same energy on the boards in this matchup?
Well, just a lot of things. We got to make sure we guard them. I didn't think we guarded them for a full 40. We got to make sure our defense shows up like the other night, because they can really score the ball. We got to find ways. Any game this year that we've done a great job on the glass really helped us. That's got to continue, and I think we got to really take care of the basketball. We can't let these guys get out in transition. If we had a couple of those turnovers back on Saturday, it could have been a different outcome. And we got to make sure those are the 3 areas that we're really concentrating on.
George Mason, obviously you've seen him once before. How are they doing anything differently? Have they made any adjustments throughout the season that you've noticed since the last time you guys have played?
Well, everybody does this time of the year. Certain different lineups, different players. The one thing they do such a great job of Kyer and Livingston getting downhill, and Grayer really can shoot the 3 ball, and then their freshmen have just they're not freshmen anymore. They're seasoned. They've played so many minutes, so they're better than they have been. They're hot right now. They've won some games. I think that they'll make some adjustments on probably how they guard us. They'll make some adjustments on on some of their offensive stuff that was successful against us last time. But everyone's making some adjustments and some tweaks this time of year just to sort of get through the next one and see if you can pull something out, especially when you're playing on the road.
Coach Paulson admitted they don't necessarily match up great against you guys. When you are stuck in a matchup that isn't exactly favorable going in, what are some of the things you can, and I know it's different for every team, but what are some of the things that you can do or anticipate a team doing when you probably might have a little bit outmatched?
Yeah, well, you match up differently. You might switch up your defenses. You might match up differently. You might, defensively try to slow the game down or keep it away from certain guys. So, everybody's different. And some coaches, will switch completely. And, Coach Paulson will he switch up defenses throughout the year. He can definitely do that against us. I think some of their matchups, because we have some size, they may play us differently around the rim, or collapse on us like some teams have and all that stuff. So, that could be things we got to be prepared for. But other teams have done it to us before, so it's not something we haven't seen.
With the three seniors, obviously it hasn't been even a year yet that you've coached them, but do you have favorite memories or favorite memory about coaching each of those three, or everything about coaching those three?
No, Chris Lane's he's a fun kid to be around. I just really enjoy being around Chris, and he's had an up and down year. But he's been an unbelievable teammate to these guys, and he's had some big games for us. It's really helped us, and some of his highlights, and of course George Mason, and then the Texas game, and then I think he's come in the game here lately for us and he's given us a spark with rebounding and finding ways to make some plays for us. So it's great, a guy you can count on. And then I think with Justin and Johnny, they're having their best individual seasons in their career, statistically for sure, minutes played for sure, and that's what seniors are supposed to do.
Speaking of that, Coach, Johnny, 7 assists, no turnovers on Saturday. I think it's fair to say at the beginning of the year we probably wouldn't have expected that. Does that number to you kind of tell you the growth he's had this year in terms of running the point?
Yeah, and no matter what, his role has changed tremendously from how many minutes we need to play him to the ball in his hands all the time, and there's not another point guard out there with him like he's played the last 3 years. So there's been a lot on his shoulders no matter what, and some days have been better than others, but throughout the year he's made some strides without a doubt. And the Saturday's game against maybe the 2 best guards in the league, he had a great floor game without a doubt, and put us in a position to almost find a way to pull that out. That's a senior point guard, and what I could tell you about Johnny is he's an unbelievable teammate. Maybe the most liked guy on the team. Everybody loves him. He's a good big brother, and he cares. He really cares, and he wants more. He doesn't want this to stop, and those are the type of seniors you want. And then Justin's had a banner year individually, without a doubt, and what he's done and the way he's expanded his game from the 3 previous years just tells you that even in their last year, kids can continually get better, become more versatile, and that's a credit to him and his work ethic and him being very coachable. The one thing about Justin this year is he's been very, very coachable with me and our staff, and I think that has helped us. That has helped us with the younger guys, because if you can coach your best player and be tough on him and demand more of him, the other guys fall in line. And then he's also seen that it's really helped him get better and better throughout this year, and that's a credit to him and the type of kid he is.
Coach, you said that you and the guys look at the standings. I guess there's 6 teams there from 4 to 9 that are within 2 games of each other. Do you talk from a standings perspective about the importance of obviously the game right in front of you, but you guys are still in a position to get that double bye if things fall?
Yeah, we don't talk that in depth.
Sure.
They know the standings. We know the standings. The only thing we can control about those standings is what we do. And I know that's so cliche, coaching, but it's the truth. Guys know the standings. If you care enough, you know them. Coaches look at them. You go through all the scenarios and all that stuff. But it's the most important thing is having our guys ready to play Wednesday night. And if we take care of business Wednesday night, guys will look again at the standings Wednesday night or Thursday and figure out all the other scenarios and go from there. Just that's sort of, if you play, you do that. But as a coach, the number one thing for our guys is have a clear mind to win on Wednesday. That's all. That's the only thing we can control. The scenarios can help us. They can get in the way. Let's keep them out of the way, and let's see if we could put a performance like we did Saturday night in the win column on Wednesday.
Mason had some struggles transitioning to the A-10, but it seems like they've got their feet underneath them. Coach Paulson has done a great job there. Can you maybe speak a little bit about what you've seen in terms of growth for their program?
Well, number one is Coach Paulson. He's a super coach. I've known him for a long time. He's unbelievable. Teams at Williams won national championship. I think he might have won 2. And then his teams at Bucknell. He's going to build a program before he's just going to put a team out there. And he's going to create a culture in the way they play, and they're starting to play like the teams that I've seen them play in the past, and I've known them for a long time. So, like any program, any coach that comes in, no matter if the program was winning or wasn't winning, you got to put your stamp on the program, and I think you see that he's doing that, and it's resulting in success.
With the offense that you guys run, what are some of the others been like this year? Is there a lot of drawn up stuff on the whiteboard, or is it more just more broad things that you're trying to kind of?
More broad, without it. I mean, one thing I make sure with this group that we have this year is that there's no surprises in the game, so they're more comfortable that we run through it in practice over and over again than just drawing it up on the board, without a doubt. So a lot of it is stuff we've gone through and we talk it through during the games and all that stuff. But now, one thing is we want to be as prepared as we can for the game. Now there's some changes and you make some changes here and there, but we no surprises with the whiteboard. The last thing you want to do is put a team out there that's confused or not sure. So we make sure that when we step out there, we know what we need to do.
Of course, a lot of stuff going on in the world of college basketball. That's something you talk to the guys about some of the news that you see, national news that you see.
Yeah, I haven't recently, but when it all came out, when all that FBI stuff came out earlier in the year, we sat down and talked to the guys about it, and that was it. So, we're going to do things the right way here, and we're going to have open dialogue with our guys all the time about doing things the right way, and they know how I am, and that's just how it is.
And what kind of thoughts do you see when you see news that come out about report about Will Wade this weekend?
I just, we're going to do things right here. Our compliance has done the right thing here and investigated on our end and all that stuff. And we had a statement, I got yesterday from the university, and that's the statement we're always going to follow. I got too many other things to worry about. We're going to do it right. Our staff knows it. That's why I hired these guys. And the number one thing is that we're going to look after our guys and make sure they see examples of doing things the right way.
Anything else, guys?